This story will focus on two snipers who receive the same mission to guard a highly secret location. Levi Kent, a former United States Marine and now a private contractor, and the other, Drasa, a secret agent from Lithuania who is often employed by the Russians. Now, the job they will both be doing is to guard a single location from two different sides, the west side and the east side. At that location, there is a ravine that they must guard for 1 year without any contact with the outside world, including contact between the two of them. Levi accepted the offer to guard the west tower, while Drasa agreed to guard the east side.
Where are we?
I'm not authorized to answer that.
Long story short, after arriving, Levi met a British Royal Marine named JD. JD is the person whom Levi will be replacing. From there, JD then explained in detail about the mission that Levi would be undertaking. JD explained that this location is very mysterious. Even after spending a year here, JD still doesn't know which country they're currently in. So it was said that for the next year, all of Levi's needs from weaponry, food, raw materials to communication equipment are complete and already available in this western tower. In addition to the towers in the east and west, there are also automatic tower defense systems in the north and south areas, as well as explosives around the cliff walls. It was further added that this location is also equipped with a camouflage system. So, whatever is here cannot be detected by satellites or by Google Earth. Now, while having coffee, JD then told the story of how this location came to be. So it all happened during the early days of the Cold War. Back then, there was a secret agreement established in which every year Western representatives would be sent to patrol the western side, and the same was done by the eastern side. Western and eastern countries have been doing this for 75 years. However, not all leaders of those countries are aware of this agreement. So the question is, what is actually the main purpose of establishing this place? JD said that their main goal is to make sure that whatever is inside the abyss does not get out. Their predecessors called the creatures inside the abyss the Hollow Men. JD also said that he doesn't know how those creatures ended up in the abyss. However, what is certain is that he emphasized that in the 1940s, 3 battalions consisting of 2,400 cavalry troops were sent into the ravine to exterminate those creatures. But unfortunately, not a single one of those soldiers managed to return, which eventually led both the western and eastern sides to choose this method of surveillance.
Is the Gorge the door to hell?
So, after parting ways with Levi, JD, who had finished his mission, went to the pickup location where he was immediately picked up by a helicopter. But as soon as he got on, JD was suddenly killed.
Thank you for your service.
Rotation complete.
Copy that.
Next, day by day passed for Levi as he began carrying out his activities such as inspecting the barriers, mines, radar systems, and also the automated weaponry. There wasn't much Levi could do, and all of it had to be done for a whole year. One particular day, he grew increasingly curious about the mysterious tower located in the eastern area, so Levi ultimately decided to take a quick peek, and that's precisely when he finally and truly realized that he was not in fact alone in this place. After several weeks had passed, Drasa, who was guarding the eastern tower, broke communication protocol on her birthday when she initiated a conversation with Levi through written messages. At first, Levi refused to engage in the conversation, but then he chose to respond. Perhaps because Levi appreciated that it was someone's birthday, even though he didn't know the person himself. Things got so exciting that the two of them ended up competing in their respective skills as sharpshooters. However, everything changed when Drasa realized that what they had just done caused some of the creatures in the ravine to try to escape. Even though Drasa had to get hurt, the important thing is that they managed to prevent those creatures from reaching the surface. In fact, Drasa didn't hesitate to tell Levi that last night's incident was the best birthday she's ever had. Well, something strange happened when Levi was repairing and replacing the mines that had previously been destroyed. While he was doing this, a foreign object appeared to be floating up from the bottom of the ravine. This sighting was also witnessed by Drasa, who happened to be monitoring Levi's movements at the time. No one knew what the object was until it eventually left and disappeared. Next, day by day, Levi and Drasa have now started communicating more frequently. They also share joyful moments during Christmas and the winter season, play chess long distance, and play the drums. It's just really fun overall. Now 6 months have passed since being here, and Levi, who remains curious about Drasa, starts thinking about how he can meet the Guardian of the East Tower. From there, Levi then came up with an idea to cross over to the eastern side. He used various kinds of equipment, including a disarmed rocket, to reach the eastern side, which was very far away.
What are you doing? Shit. Oh my.
After making sure everything was ready, Levi, without any hesitation, picked a flower and then went across. As soon as he arrived, Drasa greeted him. From there, the two of them spent time together, sharing stories about their own experiences. In this moment, Levi also didn't forget to mention that he had written a poem for Drasa while he was in the tower, titled She Collapsed the Night, which, as it turned out, made Drasa fall even more in love with Levi.
Oh, come on. Please tell me the title.
No, she collapsed the night.
The next day, a disaster befell Levi. When he was crossing back, suddenly a landmine on the west side exploded because of an animal that attempted to climb onto it.
No! Levi!
Realizing that Levi had fallen, Drasa quickly grabbed her gear and then jumped into the ravine using a parachute. On the other hand, Levi turned out to be still alive as he was hanging from a large tree. When he regained consciousness, Levi realized that the tree near him was actually alive, or rather, it was formed from a strange creature. Fortunately, in that desperate situation, Drasa suddenly appeared and saved him. After reuniting, the two of them then checked the surroundings. Here, they discovered that every living thing in this place, including plants, animals, and insects in the ravine, had mutated with one another. For example, there was a cavalry unit sent in the 1940s that suddenly attacked them. After surviving the previous attack, the two of them decided to keep moving in search of a way out. When they arrived at a certain area, they found several abandoned facilities. Since it seemed too dangerous outside, the two of them went into a building which they believed to be a church. Inside, they saw a large number of human skulls belonging to people who had ended their own lives by suicide. In this room, the two of them were then attacked by several spider-like creatures with human skulls for heads, as well as other strange creatures that also broke in through the entrance. Fortunately, using all their abilities, the two of them managed to escape from the building. Since their position was too exposed, Levi and Drasa then tried to move toward the cliff wall where they found an entrance leading to another facility. Once inside and after checking their surroundings, they discovered that this was actually the origin of all the disasters that had occurred. This place was once used as a biological weapons research laboratory. This facility was then abandoned after World War II due to an earthquake that caused a virus leak, which led to all life within the chasm becoming infected. In fact, every entity, including humans, plants, animals, and insects, would undergo what is known as genetic mutation. But here, Levi also discovers a new fact. After this location was declared off limits, everything in the facility was then taken over by a private company called Darklight. This is a company that regularly extracts samples and research data from within the chasm in an effort to create what they call super soldiers. Not only that, while Levi was searching for other evidence, he found a file on a computer labeled the Stray Dog Protocol. This was actually the final measure developed by the original researchers to sterilize the location using a nuclear explosion. However, ever since Darklight took over, that destruction protocol has never been used at all. They preferred to hire people like Levi and Drasa rather than destroy the place. Now, Levi and Drasa only had a few hours before they too would be exposed, because the longer they stayed here, the greater the chance that they would also mutate. And in the process of trying to find a way out, it turned out not to be easy at all. They once again had to face a mounted creature, during which Drasa was briefly captured and then taken to the creature's hideout located in the missile launch area. Fortunately, Levi was still able to save Drasa just in time, immediately taking out the creature. At this moment, Levi realizes that the creature from earlier is actually the very first person who ever guarded the West Tower, and it turns out he is also the one who gave the name Hollow Man to the beings in the Abyss. Upon learning this, Levi is understandably confused. He wonders why the people who guarded the tower could be here. Aren't they supposed to have returned to their respective places of origin? Now, the missile launch area is the most affected area after the earthquake because the impact of the quake apparently caused a direct leak between the chemicals from the missiles and the genetic virus that spread through the mist. In order to escape from this facility, the two of them must first get past the obstacles posed by the mutated creatures around the crossing area. Levi and Drasa finally managed to get through it, and now both of them are outside. From there, they walk towards another facility where they find several jeeps equipped with winch cables that can later be used to help them get out of the ravine.
Head to the eastern wall.
There, that's it.
So, after reaching the end of the eastern wall, they hooked the winch on the jeep to the remains of Levi's cable, which had fallen earlier. Some creatures did try to attack them, but fortunately Levi and Drasa managed to get their vehicle to the east tower.
Levi?
Once they were up above, the two of them agreed to separate for 5 days to make sure that neither of them was infected. And if it turned out that neither of them was infected, Levi and Drasa planned to destroy the chasm forever so that no one else like them would ever fall victim again. Levi felt that the reason he was assigned here was so that he could eventually be disposed of, because as far as Levi was concerned, he no longer had anyone left out there. The same thing applied to Drasa. Although Drasa still had a father, her father had long suffered from an illness, and sooner or later, he too would pass away. Meanwhile, Bartholomew, the person who assigned Levi, eventually also found out that the Forbidden Chasm had been infiltrated. Realizing that Bartholomew would also send his men to kill the two of them, Drasa and Levi then decided to activate the Stray Dog Protocol in order to protect the entire world. So, to cut a long story short, Bartholomew, who had arrived with his soldiers, then found the tower completely empty. Not wanting to lose his targets, they sent out several drones to kill Levi and Drasa. On the other hand, Levi and Drasa did their best to run, making sure they were in a safe area away from the effects of the explosion. The pair eventually managed to destroy all the drones, and from there, they fired at the radar system, causing the previously hidden location to become exposed.
What the hell was that? Rigged the cloakers.
We have 2 minutes.
What these two couples did so swiftly and decisively quickly triggered the so-called Wild Dog Protocol, effectively trapping Bartolomeo and his loyal soldiers in the midst of a massive, devastating explosion. 5 days after the incident, Drasa couldn't sense Levi's presence at all. At this moment, Drasa felt certain that Levi probably couldn't have survived the explosion. From there, Drasa then set out for France, the place where they had previously planned to meet again. Realizing that Levi would never return, she then opened the letter Levi had given her in case he didn't make it. It turned out that the letter contained a poem titled She Collapsed the Night, which Levi had previously promised to give to Drasa. Then, a month later, Drasa, who had now chosen to work at a local restaurant, was suddenly surprised by the appearance of a customer who turned out to be Levi. Yep, a happy ending, folks. Actually, this is a dark romance film disguised as a monster horror. Even though the monsters don't appear that much, for this film in particular, I can still accept it, because the storytelling between these two characters is quite unique and exciting, guys. What do you think? Do you like this movie? Leave a comment below. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. We really appreciate your support. We hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you again next time.